It's Kojo who wrote it. It's Kojo who wrote it.
I am tempted to surprise you people.
By not eating
No,
cat meat.
not that one. I am tempted to surprise you
By
people
taking us
by
to
taking
camping.
you out for lunch.
Hey!
I want to do that. But-
that would be the first time that I'll be
but
glad.
Another aspect of me also says that would be, falling
be
for their
what?
trick. So I don't know what to do.
That would be the only time that I'll be happy to be proved wrong. So
Yes, that's what I want to do. So let's say on Friday.
Hey!
Yes, I'll prove you wrong.
We shall report back. Oh.
Yes, so that Monday when you come.
We'll have a different say to right.
Exactly.
Let's do the news review. It's brought to you by Flora Disposable Handkerchief from Delta Paper Mill Limited. And what's in the papers this morning?
Okay, let me start off this morning with the Daily Statesman. Funerals, weddings, parties banned again as President reintroduces restrictions to contain COVID-19 spread. NDC not challenging 2020 election results. Asiedu Nketia denies Mahama in court. That's the question being asked on the front page. On the back page of the Daily Statesman, Manchester United lose ground in title race. Withdraw at Arsenal. And Ayew and Swansea City beat Rotherham United.
Rotherham, yes.
Rotherham.
He spanked them.
Rotherham United.
No,
Rotherham United. I remember when I went to London the first time and I saw Borough.
What
on
did
the
you say?
two, I challenged.
Barrow.
It was hectic. It was hectic, but yeah.
Okay, let me get to the daily graphic for today. And cost of COVID-19 test at Kotoka reduced to $50, and that's for ECOWAS countries and citizens. Social activities restricted, so funerals, parties, weddings banned. Shift system at workplaces, and churches to stick to 2-hour duration. I was at church yesterday. Yes, it was for 2 hours. Election petition, Supreme Court plays video on Asiedu Nketia today. Yes, he continues with Akoto Ampao. And the back page, Interallies succumb to Legon cities. Well, Legon City is doing something good this time around. But the big one says, Olympics rule the capital. Stun Hearts 2-0 in Gamashi Derby. The derby was great, eh? Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, the Ghanaian Times this morning, Ghana records more COVID-19 deaths. Shisha contributing to increased death toll. That's according to the KNUST. I'll bring you more on that story a little later. Public Services Commission outlines COVID-19 guidelines for public institutions. Half Asini police commander allegedly commits suicide. EU decries monetization of election campaigns in Ghana. And on the back page, Olympic stun hearts in Gamashi Derby. Kosoko Ashgold
Derby.
Oh gosh, it's quite a morning, isn't it? Kotoko Ashgold shares spoils and NWL intellectuals shock police.
Well, so the Chronicle says Akoto Ampao mosquitoes square up at the Supreme Court today, and Sunyoy Assembly vows to sanction parents whose children do not wear nose masks. And Nigerians want sale of foreign rice criminalized. Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe we should do something like
Yeah,
that.
I think so. Well, on the
Not if
front...
we can afford to feed the whole Ghana with local rice. If we can't, you don't do it.
Okay. May I move on?
Please, you can,
Okay.
honorable member.
Thank you very much. Front page of the Daily Guide. 15 more COVID-19 deaths recorded. Asiedu Nketia faces grilling. Lawyers test witnesses. I wonder if he'll go to court with a calculator this morning. MPs test positive for COVID. Nana Tremor Bene heads UMB. On the back page, TT Brothers eulogizes JJ Bassa Messi Sue newspaper for contract league. And Preco explains Olympics win.
Preco.
Let me get to the Business and Financial Times.
I think you'll be happy to be.
Business and Financial
called
Times
Preco.
says economy saddled with 286 billion Ghana cedis debt hits 74.4% of GDP. Not the kind of good news you're expecting on a Monday morning. We'll talk about this later. And Ameri deal to run for 3 extra months. We told government of Ghana owes Ameri some 92 million dollars. So this is just a way of making sure it's able to pay that debt. So they run for additional 3 months, even though they were supposed to have handed over today to the country. UMB appoints new CEO, and Africa Continental Free Trade Area will little affect tariff revenues. That's according to the World Bank. So all the fears about affecting the tax revenue, particularly the customs revenue, it says could only affect up to 1%. And health workers fear sector is ill prepared to fight pandemic. And back page, automate use technology to boost revenue, Commissioner General to Customs.
Okay, on the front page of the Finder this morning, NPP refutes minorities' claim of not supporting relief for students. Asiedu Nketia runs away from his Mahama victory claim. Another bench warrant issued for arrest of notorious fraudster. GES distributes 10 million face masks, 9.9 million sanitizers to schools. This is definitely a story we'll be following up on, because we will go back to the schools to see if they have received those face masks and sanitizers. Also, a very big thank you to everybody who's popped by the front desk of Joy FM to give us your donations. We've received masks and sanitizers. We're so grateful. We're still taking donations. Thank you so much. We'll be taking them to the public schools where they are needed the most. NLC directs Universities of Ghana Senior Staff Association to suspend strike. And of course, the banner headline, funerals, weddings, concerts banned. 17.6 million COVID-19 vaccines to be procured by June. I guess the saying by June, kwata adie, I guess it's received a positive spin now, because by June, dear, we should have received the vaccines, and earliest vaccines apparently to arrive in March. So something to look forward to. Subjects, of course, to the FDA approval. So we'll see how that goes.
Exactly. And the Ghanaian Observer says we are not in court to challenge validity of election 2020. Mosquito whines over Mahama's election petition. And Akufo-Addo appoints Rear Admiral Seth Amoma as acting CDS. Kotoka International Airport COVID-19 test slashed to $50 from $150. And coronavirus, CDC confirms South African variant in Ghana. Well, let me do the new crusading guide for this morning. You can't hold Adan to ransom. That's residents warn selfish chiefs and politicians over Songo South project. And we never installed a paramount chief. Pram Kingmakers declare Galamseyers destroy Obuasi oil plantation. And another bench warrant issued for arrest of notorious fraudster. And Bibiani Anyanso Bekwai MP, that's Alfred Obing. Now he's commissioned mechanized boreholes, water projects into communities. The Member of Parliament for Bibiani Anyanso Bekwai, Alfred Obing, has commissioned mechanized boreholes.
Yeah, good morning to you, Mr. Alfred Obing. I think it's nice to see that MPs are already starting to help along with development projects in their communities, even though I'm pretty sure they haven't started receiving any funds to that end.
It's just we're in February. No, not yet.
Yeah. Well, good for him. That's an example. Let's hope others who are able can do same. Right, shall we go online?
Sure.
By the way, before we go online, the online review, don't forget to tweet at us using the hashtag JoySMS. We have a question of the day, don't we, anymore?
Yes, we do. You'd like me to... Okay, so this morning we're asking, two questions, actually. The first one is, at the beginning of week 3, how has it been for your kids and yourself? Do you feel like they're safe? Do you feel like they're okay? That's our first question. So what are your feelings about the reopening so far? Our second question is, do you think the restrictions that the president placed yesterday are enough? That question is so multifaceted, and the reason I say that is because even the restrictions that he alludes to being already in place are actually not in place, like pubs closed and beaches closed and all of that. So there's more restrictions, but are they enough? There's also, of course, the big debate that has been raging on social media about chotros and the fact that there was nothing that was said about public transport and all of that. And apparently, the virus got a memo that once you get to a chotro station, you do not transmit. That was on the probe last night. We'll bring you that sound as well. And the GMA absolutely refute that and say, no, that is not true. So the question
It's not even the GMA. It's one of the research organizations, the one that did the study on how widespread infections are in the Greater Accra region, and discovered that about 1/5 of us have been infected.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
they
we
are
have
the
those
ones
sounds.
who refuted what. Yes,
Right.
we'll bring it all.
We'll bring it all.
on the show.
When we start. But the question is, Do you think that the restrictions are enough?
All important questions. Use the hashtag JoySMS, tweet at us. And look, I always recommend start your tweet with it so you don't forget. Lots of people tweet at us and forget to add the hashtag, so we end up not seeing their tweets. Please put it at the beginning. Tell us what you think about the restrictions. Tell us how the first month of the year has gone for you, right? Is that what you said?
No.
School.
How
Okay.
the first 2 weeks of school
have
have
gone for
been,
you.
yeah.
Tell us all of that on the hashtag JoySMS. Today we're focusing on COVID-19. The president has addressed the nation. There's a lot in there. We need to unpack it. Try and understand these restrictions. I noticed that a few of them contradict each other or don't quite sit alongside each other.
Like?
That's my observation. For example, cinemas are still banned, right?
Yes.
Now that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
A cinema is an enclosed space. You're worried, air conditioning and all that. You're worried about the virus spreading very easily. Those
I see
are
where you're going.
That's the
and
place
yet,
where.
but people are quiet in there.
Well, I mean that's one point, okay. But I wasn't even going to say that. You've banned cinemas. They are enclosed spaces with air conditioning. But conferences are allowed.
Yeah, that was the point I was making.
Why? Why are conferences allowed?
And yes,
I'm
and
sure people
seminars
talk more at conferences and workshops than in cinemas.
where people are quiet and
Exactly,
snuggling up
but
to
they
each
are
other.
both done in typically air-conditioned spaces with, enclosed spaces.
Yeah.
So why are conferences allowed and cinemas banned?
Yeah.
The other thing that doesn't sit well with me is the trotros. Okay, so you can still sit in a full trotro because apparently trotros are well ventilated in Ghana. Are trotros more well ventilated than beaches? So why are beaches banned and trotros are allowed to load to capacity? These are a couple of things I wonder about. But anyway, the online review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. Going cashless has never been this convenient or exciting. Thank goodness Goyle has made it possible for us to pay for fuel and lubricants in any of Goyle's over 400 stations across the country with the GH Link card. That's brilliant because it means that every purchase will be recorded on your monthly statement automatically so you can keep track of your expenses and protect yourself while you go cashless, sticking to all COVID-19 protocols in these times. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle Yenara Yenze. Now you can make life simple on the go when you pay the easy way with a Zenith MasterCard or Visa card, either online or in-store. Now with your Zenith card, you can pay for your Facebook ads, Netflix, iTunes or Amazon subscriptions. You can pay for your online shopping or your purchases in-store on any point of sale terminal. So don't stress. Use your Zenith MasterCard or Visa card for safe, secure, and convenient card transactions. Zenith Bank, delivering customer-centric banking in your best interest. Okay, before the BBC News, any stories you guys want us to focus on?
Oh yeah, actually we need to do the online
We do, don't we?
news. Should I just go
Yes,
ahead and do it?
please.
Okay, so let's start with my Joy Online this morning. Until further notice, weddings, concerts and parties banned. That's according to President Akufo-Addo. Asiedun KTI requests for calculator at Supreme Court to cross-check EC's results. Let's make sure we have a couple of those ready to go this morning. Using double masks has nothing to do with faith. That's Archbishop Duncan Williams speaking. I tried out the double mask thing yesterday. So regular mask and then the N95 one thingy on top. I could barely breathe. But it's critical because for the Christians, I mean, if you see Archbishop wearing two masks, then you know that Charlie. It's like God helps those who help themselves, basically. So that's it for my Joy Online. City Newsroom, table leadership to meet FWSC over their conditions of service. Muntaka apologizes for chaotic inauguration of 8th Parliament. COVID-19, Ghana's active case count now 5,358. Death toll hits 416. And I think the president mentioned yesterday that there have been about 64 deaths in the past 2 weeks. On the past week. I'll just double check that and let you know. Let's move on to the BBC. There's been a military coup in what's formerly known as Burma. The army has transferred power because of alleged election fraud in the democratic vote held in November. Kidnapped Chibok girls not in Nigerian army custody. Gunmen attack hotel in Somali capital. How we found a dead leader's hidden loot. That's BBC Africa. And that's our online news review for you this morning. If any of the stories have piqued your interest, just go to the websites and find I'll find them.
Did you catch the probe with MFA Apo last night? On
Yes,
the Joy
I
News channel?
did, yes.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. I mean, the guests had a lot to share. Now, WACBIP, which is the organization that's looking at West African Center for something about bio. Oh, I'll get you the full name of it right now. It's here. WACBIP stands for, forgive me, West African Center for Cell Biology of Infectious Pathogens. Professor Awandare spoke on their behalf yesterday.
That's the one.
Now, a fascinating thing happened. I don't know if you noticed. It was at the end of the show when MFA asked the Director General of the Ghana Health Service about the spread of COVID-19 in markets. Markets have not been shut down in these new restrictions, or even restricted in their activities. So she asked about it, and the head of the GHS said that there is no data to support the suggestion that the virus spreads in marketplaces.
So where does it spread?
Well, immediately Dr. Awandare of WACBIP stepped in and said, I'm sorry, but that's not right. We've done studies that demonstrate that it spreads in markets. In fact, markets are one of the places where it spreads the most, according to our studies. It surprised me to hear these two conflicting views on the same show, especially bearing in mind the fact that the Ghana Health Service insists that all of their decisions and advice that they give to the president is based on science. So the WACBIP study, or studies, because they're continuing to do them, is that not science? It makes you wonder, what else has not been factored into these decisions? What other scientific studies? Because there are lots of studies, lots of reports. The Ghana Medical Journal is filled with reports. Every day somebody is writing something about COVID-19. How much of it is ignored by those who make decisions on our behalf? Anyway.
We'll talk about that, and we'll bring the sounds, if you missed the probe yesterday, when we go into our main conversations after the BBC.
Which is brought to you by Fidelity Bank, Believe with Us, and Provident Insurance Company Limited. With Provident, man, you are covered.
Hey, Baba, Charlie, I want a haircut. Quick, I have somewhere to be before noon.